Verizon was awesome to send over the brand new flagship phone from HTC, which is the HTC 10. Well, as a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge owner, I was a little curious to see how it would stack up to the competition. Well, surprisingly, it did quite well. Starting off with looks, this phone looks amazing with its all-metal unibody and chamfered edges. The phone sits comfortably in your hand, and the additional thickness compared to the competition really isn't noticed. However, one thing I noticed is that it was quite slippery, and there were a couple times I had to act fast in order to save it from falling. I did like the added textile button to help you decipher which button was which. The HTC 10 has a Snapdragon 820 processor, Adreno 530 GPU, and 4 GB of RAM. So what does this mean for the average consumer? Well, this phone is fast. No matter what I was doing on the phone, I never came across any lags, and the performance kept up no matter how many apps I had open. And speaking of fast, the fingerprint sensor was easy to set up and even faster to use. Another big difference from its predecessors is the HTC 10 is missing the dual front-facing speaker setup and then the highly disliked HTC bar below the display that's seen with almost every other smartphone from the company. While some were disappointed in the standard speaker setup, we were still blown away with the front-facing speaker above the display and then the subwoofer at the bottom next to the USB Type-C port. The boom sound is still around and delivering excellent sound quality. So one of the other big questions that I got was, how does the camera compare to that of the S7 Edge? Well, the S7 Edge still performs much better in low light conditions, but for the rest of the pictures that I took with the HTC 10, they were still well lit, well saturated, and properly exposed. So really, no complaints, but I do like the ability to take photos in low light conditions, and the S7 Edge still helped me out with that. Overall, I think that the HTC 10 is an amazing phone, and it's particularly fast, especially that fingerprint scanner. But whenever it came to the camera, that was one of the deal breakers for me when I compared it to the S7 Edge. There's not that much of a difference, but again, I rely heavily on my camera for photos and videos, so that was the breaking point for me. But I'll leave a link inside the description on where you can find out more about the phone from Verizon. And don't forget to subscribe, there are new videos out every single week. I'll leave the links on where you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, especially Instagram stories, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.